It's a disclaimer. Don't care for it. Again, like always. And there we go. Let's get started, guys. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another stream. Missed yesterday, but yeah, again, been busy. No, not really. No, I just was tired. I overslept. Woke up about what, 2:30, just in time to catch the move, but too late to sort of come to the stream. Again, my bad. That's why even though I'm tired now, I'm still streaming. Such a chore. I mean, we'll go over Wednesday, and we also have to go over Tuesday. Tuesday was decent in terms of, I mean, did what we wanted to do, which is just swipe down, clear out liquidity, push up, give you a nice little double bottom for taking out this high. I remember we drew this here as a tentative line just to say, look, this is where retail will come in, and this is where you probably want to have the sort of well thought roll to short. Just say, okay, that's where we're gonna get suckers. Then we push these guys out, and we go and target the weekly range on a Wednesday. Wednesday is usually where we reverse things anyhow. So we had a nice little reversal for the week, push back up. Now we're consolidating up here and sort of driving potentially this scenario again back down, sort of hitting that out. Again, that all depends on the balance. I mean, a quick glance at this cursory again, you can see where people end up going short on the breakout here. This is when it ends up taking place and ends up sort of being functional. You can see the Tuesday. Yeah, it'll be around here, but either or, you can see when it breaks that line in the first place, it ends up, you can see that explosion of longs as your sort of stops get hit, your breakouts traders come in, and they just say, oh, okay, I'm comfortable here, let me quickly slide in, and that's when they get punished. Same story here, you can see when we're sort of coming up, we're starting to get heavy longs, and instantly you see these cascade shorts coming through, and there's your sign that price will slowly sort of go up after the fact. Again, after these sort of swipe down, push up, grabbed a few more longs. Now we're sort of very heavy on the longs here, which is what we want it to be. Ideally, if we're looking for this to go down, again, we want to start tapering expectations, be very bearish on these last couple of days, just because we have things to do and not enough time to sort of do them. I mean, now we're Monday open, you can see Monday opening here, so we gotta come at least sort of below here if we want to have a chance of sort of falling within line of saying, oh, okay, we're closing bearish and we actually mean it this time, instead of just random. And same thing with SPY again, you can see we're all the way here, we're sort of opening green already on like a very bearish week. Tip scale, and just sort of now we've got a lot to ride on in terms of how much we're falling. then I mean we got at least come back all the way down here just to have a red close. Again, we don't care too much if it's a minuscule red close, just sort of have the expectations of potentially, and we're sort of trying to make that fit that narrative. Again, we're not forcing it, we're just saying, okay, is it still possible? And with the scenario sort of late now, I mean, we've got data coming through right now. Let's see how those vector charts. Too much. And the more important thing is sort of tomorrow coming the Fed Powell speech here at 11. That's sort of where you're sort of putting everything aside and saying, okay, here's where we're truly sort of moving either left or right. I can't move left or right here, but still. Here's when we're sort of truly moving sort of mines and stuff like that. So we want to sort of set up for that, and the only really way we can set up for that is by stacking long. So it does sort of make sense that that downwards is still a scenario that we can sort of play out to, and it's something that's sort of very easy to sort of take advantage of now that we especially have all these sort of longs here. I mean, a mixture of shorts coming through, but all these longs here got swiped out here, but again they're back again around here. We've got some shorts again, we've got to clear these guys out. We've just got to build up to that sort of climatic sort of point that we make sort of a rise at. Again, slowly leading ourselves upwards to then sort of decline down. It's always a nice sort of story. It's just because it stopped out the sort of weekly range doesn't mean it's sort of done with the bottom half of the charts. Remove this now. That's done its sort of purpose and sort of identifying where retail will end up sucking. Again, same story for sort of buys. You can see that sort of break. You don't have too much volume here. Start getting volume on the second swing here after sort of these shorts sort of get punished out. Again, it's just like the tired old story where it only works when people are not really looking at it. And you can see where it pinned last time. Here is when people started buying to it. They started coming to it's like, oh, the hope and the prayer that they potentially have sort of starts disappearing. Then it goes back down. And now we're sort of finding ourselves at this sort of daily resistance. So hopefully we can start pushing ourselves off of this and just try and find some semblance of a downward sort of spiral here. Just to wrap up the week, and again, it should sort of be a neat bow that we create for ourselves. That okay, last week closed red, this week closed red. Next week, it's green sailing. Smooth sailing, or I don't know, it's not even an expression, green sailing. What the hell does it even mean? Smooth sailing. I don't know. I'm too tired to create anything. If we sort of flip again on the large time frame, daily rather, not too large but decently large. Chart plans. Let's see where we can catch sort of people out and sort of say, here's one. This is nice and easy sort of cash. Again, channel sort of think is created here. You can see every time it came out, and we got that volume behind it. Just sort of ran under, and it's doing that here as well. So this is probably a more interesting thing to monitor. And I think it would be better if we switch this to candles so it looks asinine. That still looks asinine. I mean, it's not really sort of too much. As you can see here, it's just like see the cat. Just trend lines. There you go. That's a lot easier. Refresh that. There you go. That's all refreshed. As you can see, this is what essentially all the retail will have coming out of this. Again, see the first very shallow break on the day here. Got already a bunch of sort of liquidity that would have came through, and again this one here would be a larger point here, just sort of coming out. As soon as we get this, we can sort of just say, yep, we got a lot of suckers here. We can sort of look at this line. There you go, that's nice, and so that'll sort of be there for us, even though we can switch this off and so use the open body, see if that changes it a bit. Again, change it slightly, and we want to sort of account for both sort of scenarios here. Just sort of just as a nice little aside, just say, okay, here's where we're gonna get some traps. Here's good. This is where we can get the rest of the traps here, and just move from there. As you can see, it is where we are sort of we open ourselves out to. Again, just flip back and just show you where volume starts coming through. Again, it starts sort of picking up here, back down, and it started picking up again. We just saw it pick up here, and it just sort of decimate itself on the way down. Again, a very easy sort of play here to watch. So we want to expect some most basically the same thing to sort of occur. Not even at a lesser extent, at the same sort of extent, where we're just sort of pushing down again. The power of sort of Powell should never be underestimated. Just as a sweet aside, because he can move the market regardless of what ends up happening. Time to moves today. I mean, it should be very simple. Again, we're stacking up short. We're sort of building it down before anything. So it should be just a repeat of what ended up happening yesterday. You can see when we fell out the range here, quite a nice little double bottom where we had these shorts get pushed. Then as soon as these shorts ended up being comfortable, we then pushed it out, and again on each high, shorts just coming through and through to just sort of allow for that constant sort of high. So you're looking for that same thing to sort of occur today, where probably going to push down a bit, not really take out too many take out a decent amount of longs, or not, but not the entire sort of stock, because we're trying to collect these longs. Once we collect these longs on the high side, then we can sort of look to potentially tomorrow being that bearish sort of point there for us. Again, this could sort of create sort of twofold, where it does sort of swipe down, it does sort of get you out here, it does come back here, then pushes down during non-dead. Again, you got to sort of prepare for like multiple outcomes, and sort of constantly sort of reassess but the charts. But again, it should be the same thing over and over again. If you go low before open, you're going to go high. If you go high, you're going to go low. Simple as that. Also, when you set up, the most important one you sort of want to carry on through is obviously New York, which is over here. But to be honest, there's not really sort of too much to add. Should be a relatively simple day. Again, using sort of this as a guide terms of just saying, okay, we're potentially gonna swipe into a double bottom at, and that, not really sort of too much. I hate to cut it sort of this early. I know it's sort of 15 minutes, but I am expecting the oiler man to come, or plumber, whatever you want to call him. I need to sort of prepare for that. So I mean, we've got until I'm needed. Spy, same story. You got these longs captured here. Again, it's just sort of similar things. We sort of have some leeway here, but again, not too much. We want to look for this. Sort of repeat the same thing that we sort of see here again. Sort of really high up already on this. We're sort of pushing down. You want to sort of recover a bit. We'll see if it traps itself here. And again, if it ends up stopping this, it ends up going short, we're going high initially. See if it pushes a bit higher. If it doesn't, it just finds itself back down again. Just trying to sort of open around here. Not even open, just sort of close rather. The week around here is all we really want, just for a completionary sake. Again, if it stops fitting your narrative after a while, again, if it starts clearing this section out with relative ease, then we sort of give up on that as a potential, as we don't want to constantly force something that may or may not be there. Looking how nicely the leaks out, it's just pedal smooth again. So open high, we open low, but just sort of consolidating into that, eased into here, push back. Now sort of finding some struggle around sort of this area here. We're collecting nice little volume of long, so we're definitely looking for this to sort of push itself out. Rapid sort of increase in liquidity here, just as we're sort of setting off here. Just a very sort of quick and snappy movement. But we're looking at this and we're just saying, okay, we're collecting shorts. We want to see if we just sort of come in here and sort of just find ourselves either catching the top here, then pushing down, or we just constantly sort of do this and up out here, run out these guys here, then push back down. It would be a sight for sore eyes, but still, it's something that we want to sort of keep. And we can still be bearish for today, and as long as we sort of create this inflection here very early and push up very early, reach this by 10. Again, you always want the first move coming out of open to be the false move. Once you can grab that, once you can sort of say that's where that is, you can then push it and just say, okay, it pushed everything out really early, grab all the fruits out, not really getting them coming back in here, getting out longs, then push this back down and then be bearish for the day. Then we can set up tomorrow much lower, but still have the longs be set up tomorrow, so it doesn't have to be sort of a point in where we're just constantly building up higher. Then the higher just ends up being, we ended up not closing where we wanted, just because we end up being more violent because we have to reach further sort of ground, and they sort of keep you sort of leveled. And that's pretty much all my thoughts for today. are. Again, like I said, I'm needed elsewhere. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. There's a lot more energy, a lot more things coming out. Again, should be an interesting couple of days, especially tomorrow being that Fed Powell speech. Once we can grab that, we can then sort of look for next week's Wednesday as your sort of a nice little divot into that, because we got the FOMC minutes. Alright, thank you guys so much for coming again. Thank you guys for putting up with me as the main thing. Just being so tired and lethargic. But you guys should know what to trade for today. I mean, and sort of biases and what to look out for. It does look like they probably might either create that inflection very early, which being now, push up again. We'll just watch out for that again. Treat the first move as hostile, and just try to sort of trade against it for the most part. If we're getting that double top, and then definitely push everything out the market, and it sort of fits in because SPY is already absurdly sort of high as it is.